Happy Wednesday, guys. So here we are on our second, maybe third week doing our midweek review. Getting a lot of good feedback from you guys on these videos. So if you're enjoying them, make sure you hit like and subscribe here on YouTube. I'd love to hear from my listeners to see what it is you guys are looking for. But just if you're new to the channel, every week on Wednesday, I go through all the charts. We go through our predictions that we made on Sunday. We see what price has been doing. We kind of get a good feel for where price wants to go or what it's doing for the week. And we start to use, or I like to use pivot points to kind of guide me where I think price is going to end in the week. And if we find price pretty far from its pivot, you'll see as I go through these charts, I tend to look for reasoning for that price to go back to the pivot. So if you had any questions on, as I go through these charts, why I'm choosing to go back, that's what I'm looking for. Price tends to want to go back to its mean. Some people completely disagree with that. That's okay. But I find great success looking for those scenarios and trading back towards the pivot. All right, let's not waste any more time. I know you guys are busy. You essential workers are busy, and the rest of us are trying to stay busy at home. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to the charts. All right. As you guys know, I use TradingView charts, blah, 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 blah. Go check it out. It's free. They have paid stuff too. If you're going to buy the paid stuff, reach out to me so I could give you my referral link. Just kidding. All right. So Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, first on our list over here. So you can see I was expecting, I like to say but I was expecting price to kind of come back down to these levels this week after we saw this break and retest. But look at that. Nope. It basically said, screw you, man. Came up, retested again, touched the pivot. And, now that we've, touch this pivot, it gives price a really good, let's get rid of this. Gives price the okay. It now it put in the password it needs to cross the bridge, in my opinion. And now we're sitting right at it like a double top scenario, but I think we might actually get a push all the way up to this strong resistance level still, and which would fall in line with this trend line. So we busted through it, but now we just keep flirting with it. But I'll be a seller if we get all the way up to this R2 by the end of the week. Doesn't mean I'm going to buy it up to here. Again, I'm already way ahead for the week. There's no need to push. So this one's not a very high probable trade. However, if you guys are just need to trade this pair, we're sitting at the deciding moment right here. If we break this level, it's almost sure it's going to come up to this R2. But if we start to show resistance, you can see it's a pretty good level. You had resistance here, you had it there. We've tested the bottom side of this former trend line, so it's make or break where we're at. It's either going to bust up, or I think we're going to come back down here, or possibly to our bullish zone. All right, let's go to Australian Swiss franc. We're probably going to see kind of the same scenario, guys. See where we were thinking lower. I think we're going to come all the way up to that. I may have this in the wrong spot. You could see. Yeah, we have confirmation there. So, we're flirting with a good sell position on Australian Swiss franc right now. So if you guys are looking for a good trade, I kind of like this. I'm just going to go ahead and put that sell in there from right there. I like it at least down to that support zone right there. I like that. This thing could be, a big home run. Maybe not all the way down, but I like that. We'll go ahead and leave that in there to see if by the end of the week, we could come back and look. Australian dollar, JPY, lots going on in this chart. So we had this swing high to swing low. We're targeting midway point for our bearish in between the 618 and the 5. But you could kind of see we're starting to see a really strong resistance right in this area. Now, I do want to show you guys. Let me get rid of some of this noise. I do want to show you guys price shot past, it's bouncing on R2, which kind of tells me we might get this pull back, at least back down to the pivot before we get any really strong. But once again, we're at a really deciding point. Price is either going to break through or we're going to get a good bounce and we could see some short side here. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Okay, we broke some of these highs, but we're kind of double topping again. See right here, we didn't quite touch R2, this week's R2, but I'm kind of liking where most of these Australian dollar pairs are double topping right around this week's R2, and we might just see a good drop, but that's what we thought Wednesday too. All right, so the Australian dollar, US dollar, I just did this on my Telegram group or Trading View group. We're hitting this top. We see divergence posted now, but we're either going to get a really solid breakthrough this level, then we'll look for the retest and be buyers. This will become our bullish zone, or we're going to get a good good spot to sell from. And like I said, guys, I'm already in a sell on this pair. I got in on this break and then didn't close it. So I'm biasly looking for this pair to actually fall. I don't need it to fall much, but I'm kind of hoping that's the way it goes. And if you're in my Telegram channel, my Journeyman Telegram channel, you're in the same trade with me, or if you've copied that trade, you're in this same trade. So, I'm liking what we're seeing. So, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. I'm loving this resistance level. We took a little bit of profit off of this week. We just haven't got that pop down. We also, price hasn't stretched up towards this R2 either. So we just been kind of playing this channel for weeks now, and it's still holding pretty good. We had a little bit of a false breakout, but I like this pair short. If we break this, the level we're at now, I like it back down to its pivot. Canadian dollar, JPY, same thing. We have this wonderful little channel that we're playing off of, and you could see on Sunday we guessed we would get here. We did. Now it's, are we going to fall like we thought, right? If you guys took this trade, good on you. I've been busy with other trades this week, but perfect play off this channel trade, right? It shot past R2. Now it's hovering around. If we have a good break, it's more than likely coming back down to that pivot, possibly stretched all the way back down. Swiss franc JPY. So we actually took a trade this week. Awesome. Hit our profit target. We'll get that out of the way. We took the profit on the pivot. Now, where's it going to go, right? So I think we might see it come at least back up to these levels. It'd be nice if we get a pull all the way up to there, and we could sell from up here. Now, guys, when it's in the middle of these two ranges, midweek, I tend to just let it show itself. Let price show itself, because you had divergence here. You got a little drop. You could play. If I use this arrow as a trend, you could play off this trend line until you get a solid break, which most breakout traders look for, is follow this trend up until you get a break and then a retest. blah, 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 blah. All right, so we just took this trade. We put in a pending order on the Telegram group, and we made money off this bounce yesterday, and now we've entered on this perfect little spike, put right back down on the 618. I don't have it on here, but this long swing low to swing high, this green zone is right on the 618. We're looking for a good long trade off of this bounce. I really love this pivot level. Price may get back there by the end of the week. It may not, but we're gonna watch this trade. We're already 60 pips into it, and we're just gonna watch, see where it goes. Okay, Euro, Swiss franc. We have a pretty good channel. Lots of indecision in between here. We didn't get the stretch that we needed to enter this trade, but I still think we're probably going to see it creep up to this bearish zone. We're not necessarily buyers or sellers yet until we get pushed into one of these areas. British pound, Euro British pound. So we took a trade on this. Didn't get a lot of production out of it. I wanted it to come all the way up. I think we closed it right here at where we ended up at the pivot. Then we got this drop. I'm not a buyer, again, until it stretches down here and tells us what it's going to do. Or we see it push all the way up to R2. I think this might be a little aggressive all the way up here. But again, I'm choosing these levels on a daily chart. EURGBP, kind of the same thing, right? If we use this as a trend line, we're in between our two zones. You could play this trend up, but I'm not necessarily a seller or a buyer till we get up or back down to one of these areas. So not gonna push it here. EURAUD kind of looks like the EURAUD. I believe this, if I threw a Fibonacci on this swing low to swing high, yeah, you can see we're targeting the 618. We almost got there. I think this might push a little bit further down, but I'm not going to take this trade if I'm still in the Euro AUD trade. Euro US dollar. All right. What do we got cooking here? So you could see we got into our bullish area, and price respected it. Shot up to the pivot, and now my guess is it's for sure going to come back up to the pivot. Then if we break this pivot line, are we going to get enough? Look how spread out these are. I mean, this has been a whipsaw son of a gun through all this turmoil. So, we got a lot of fundamentals coming up into the week. If we get a pullback down to this support, this bullish zone, I'll be looking to be a buyer or looking for that solid breakthrough. But this one's been a hard pair to gauge. Fun pair if you're on the right side of it. So, again, I'm not a buyer unless we get down here. If we stretch all the way up to this R2, maybe I will see if I want to be a seller. But right now, I'm already ahead. Already have 200-300 pips for the week. I'm already over 1% gains. So I'm being very selective. All right, EURCAD. So I think we're sitting right in a great decision spot for a push up. You can see price is respecting this support. Eventually, hopefully, the bulls will take over, and you're going to be in a good trade if you plant the seed here. We're already testing these hourly candle tops right now. So it's not a bad buy. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there just so we can, if we bought right where it's at, this pivot is a really good quick intra-week target. If you want to be a little more patient, we can see if it comes all the way up there. But not the best place to enter. I mean, if I drop down to a smaller time frame, we're testing that top. So entering here kind of sucks. If you get another pull probably back down to that pivot, that's a better place to enter this trade, or all the way down into this green area would be an awesome place to enter. But we will just see the FOMO kicks in, right, guys? The fear of missing out. Oh my God, look at this move. I should be in it. Well, that's what they're expecting you to do. So you enter right here. Wait for this pull back down. And guess what? If it does shoot up and you missed it, you missed it. But you didn't make a mistake and enter and go through all this turmoil for it to come all the way back down, maybe even close it for a loss, and then bounce. All right, guys. Let's get back on it here. British pound, AUD. I'm not a buyer yet. This one's kind of hard. Look at these big trenches. I'm not a buyer unless we get down here. I'm not a seller necessarily unless we get up here. I do think we might get a bounce on this S2, second bounce, and it's going to come back up to the pivot. So if we double bottom here, it's a possible buy back up to this pivot. But we're in the middle of no man's land and really no reason to push the limit. All right, guys, same thing here. We have this area identified that we were targeting. Looks like price came down to S2. Now you have a decent smaller time frame trend line break. So you could wait for a retest, take a buy. But this thing might just go banshee all the way up to this missed pivot. And then, we'll see where it goes from there. But this would have been an awesome trade. However, if you would have put in your level right on S2, it would never triggered it. So it didn't follow our rules of hits S2, then it bounced. But this would have been a great trade to be in if you caught it right here. I still think, let me show you what I'm talking about with the trend line, right? So it's a little aggressive. So if we kind of drew a trend line that way, you could wait for a retest, then it go. But this looks like it's pretty strong missile heading back to this pivot. So like I said, I think it's going to go to this pivot, and then we need to see what it's going to do. We may get that bounce off the pivot where we want to go. Be an awesome trade if that's the way it works. All right, British pound, Swiss franc. You can see we have our Fibonacci from the swing high to swing low. We're targeting right in between the 618. Looks like we might just get some sort of double top here. We didn't get the production off of it we wanted. I have an alert right here. I don't know why. Now I don't. Maybe it's because I think that's where price was going to go and I wanted to buy from there. But I'm just going to get rid of it. Go away, alert. Go away, alert. Like I said, I think price is going to come back up here. And I'm going to be looking to sell this pair if we get this double top scenario. British pound JPY. So same thing here. I'm actually just got in this trade in my Telegram channel. I think we've double topped and we're going to get some production at least down to this level. We got really tight pivot levels. So I think, I'll be happy if I get this trade down to this support, this sideways channel support. But it could pop all the way down. I would love, we've tested this resistance multiple times, and this could be the time it breaks through and I lose, or it could be the time we just get that productive drop we've been hoping for on this pair. All right, British pound, NZD. This was a trade we took already this week. It was profitable. Now we're just waiting, right? I have the 618 retracement, but I think we're in this channel, these two daily zones, and we're kind of in no man's land. You know, I think if we get pulled out here, I'm a buyer. If it comes back up there, I'm a seller. British pound, US dollar. We were hoping to hit the 618, kind of the same thing. All these British pound pairs are they showed a little signs of drop, but they're coming back to this resistance level. So I'm gonna wait till we get to that resistance level, and then I am a seller. NZD CAD, same thing. We didn't quite get all the way down to our bullish zone, so that's why we didn't take this trade, but we're kind of hovering in this channel. Same thing here. We didn't get the pull either way. I think what we're going to see here, guys, is favoring going top and out up to here, and that's where we'll be a seller. NZD-JPY, same thing. Maybe we get a double top here on R2. You can see price touched R2, divergence, great time to sell. You would have had some good profit. Hopefully you closed it, but now we're starting to see a good area to sell from up here. So if we get another push up to that R2 level, we will sell from there. NZD USD, same thing. You guys starting to see the correlation between all these pairs. USD CAD. All right, so we're flirting with a good area to buy from right now. Not more or less a seller yet, but I think if we get a pull back down to S2 here, I'm a buyer. Yeah, I like that. USD CHF. Price was on this rip-roaring path. It came down, it touched the pivot, and now I think it has permission to come up here. So you possibly could buy off of this pivot level up. Like I said, I'm in a situation where I'm already good this week. I don't need to push the envelope. So if it comes up here, I'll sell. If it comes down here, I'm a buyer. USD JPY. All right. I thought we would have got some more downside, some positive downside movement on this. We got a little bit of break when we hit R2 here. But I'm not necessarily reselling this until we get up here. But I do like this finishing strong. The week finishing strong, at least back down to this pivot level. Can see how tight we're getting. If I have my Bollinger Bands on, I bet you the top and bottom lines are getting really tight, waiting for this impressive blowout either way. Personally, I think we're at pretty low levels, but the dollar is going to go through some sort of inflationary kick to the balls with all this stimulus money, and we should see long-term the dollar kind of devalue, especially against the JPY. All right, guys, don't forget to hit subscribe, the little bell, whatever it is, so you get these notified every time I put one of these out. And as always, I hope you're having a great week and a profitable week. And if you want to follow along, jump onto my Telegram groups. I have the links in the notes. And have a great week, and let's go make some money together. Over and out.